Hello everyone, Cherries and international football is done for now. Club football is back. Championship football, match day 6, AFC Bournemouth are back home taking on Barnsley. In this match preview, we're going to take a look at the numbers. We're also going to bring back the 5-minute match preview as an AFC Bournemouth fan takes on the hot seat, and we'll also get an opposition perspective as well from the Reds report. But first, are you a subscriber to Cherries Army? If not, and you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button, help us get to 1,000. Also hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Let's get on with the preview. So the Cherries 6th take on Barnsley 14th, match day 6, back in the Championship at the Vitality Stadium on Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. Both teams' previous results, well, Barnsley will look to their 1-1 draw versus Birmingham as a very good result, I'm sure of that. They've had transition as well this season. Bournemouth though, we went up to Hull. It was a tough day, a tough watch and a tough drive back. It was a 0-0 draw versus Hull. Bournemouth now back-to-back draws versus Blackpool and Hull, and certainly we must be looking to get back to winning ways starting at home on Saturday. New players came in then. Scott Parker was busy transfer deadline day. Ryan Christie came in from Celtic. He turned down a deal at Burnley to play at Bournemouth, and that is a positive move, you have to say. He'll bring in a talent with his left foot where he can definitely assist and hopefully get goals. Jamal Lowe took a move from Swansea to Bournemouth, a very good deal, probably less than 2 million we're hearing, and he added 14 plus goals for Swansea when they made the playoff last season. So we're looking to add goals to this team because we've lost goals from this team, and hopefully the players that have come in can do that. Now we've put an AFC Bournemouth fan in the hot seat to take on the 5-minute match preview. It's back on this preview. Duran, Dan, took on the preview.
Are you ready, Dan, to take on the 5-minute match preview?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
What did you make of both teams' previous results?
So, Bournemouth and Barnsley both got draws in their last games. Barnsley 1-1 against Birmingham, and obviously Bournemouth slightly underwhelming. In fact, not slightly, very underwhelming, 0-0 versus Hull. I think that it's a pretty decent result for Barnsley. I think Birmingham are going to be... they have been really good this season. They had a strong end to the season last season after bringing in Lee Bowyer. So I think that's a fantastic result for them. A draw against a good Birmingham side. And Bournemouth, it was quite underwhelming to say the least, and frustrating. And there were some positives from the game. I think a few players had a decent game, but overall it wasn't good enough. We didn't create enough chances. It was almost like we were missing a man in attack at times. Dom Solanke was coming back a lot, and there was sort of space in attack missing. But yeah, it should be an interesting one. It's hard to predict.
How will Bournemouth approach this game?
So I'm really terrible at this kind of analysis on how we'll approach it. I think I'd like to see us press again. I think that obviously it's going to be a slightly different style. Barnsley, obviously they've let their manager go, but they've still got a lot of the same players. So I think that it'll be quite I'd say an end-to-end game from my limited knowledge of Barnsley's style and season so far. But yeah, I think we've got to press. We've got to be solid at the back, no silly mistakes. I'd like to see, which we didn't do at Hull, I'd like to see both fullbacks, whoever those are, bomb forward as well. I think that'll be useful. So yeah, I think those things is we've got to just keep our heads on. No stupid mistakes. And yeah, I think this should be, if we do all of that, reasonably convincing. No, I won't say convincing win. It should be a win. I'll say that.
Which Bournemouth players will be key in this game?
I would say from the performance last game against Hull, Mepham is going to be key. What another great performance. In fact, both centre-backs, Kelly, if he's there, as well as Mepham, then I think they've got to put in a solid performance. It'll be interesting to see if we bring in any new signings. Dom Solanke's always going to be important in these kind of games. We're still, even with bringing in Lowe, he's still like the striker. He is the best striker we've got, in my opinion. And I think he started the season really, really well. He looks like a more complete striker. So he's got to be there, running in behind, holding the ball up. And yeah, I think also the midfield as well. Quick play, fast, like we did in the second half against Hull. Obviously, we're not sure who's going to be playing there. If Kilkenny comes in, which is potentially, I think he's key for that. Switching the ball quickly, playing it around, taking a few risks.
What's your Bournemouth predicted lineup?
So here we go. The Bournemouth predicted 11. I'm going to go for a Travers in goal. I'm going to go for Kelly and Mepham at the back. I think Mepham, as I mentioned, has been really, really solid. So he definitely keeps his place, despite Cahill obviously being at the club. Smith, I'm not too... I think he's back. He seemed to be ill for about 2 weeks. So, yeah, Smith. Left back, Zamora keeps his place. He's been fantastic. And then if we go for a 3 in the middle... I'm actually going to go, whether this will be correct or not, I don't know. I'm going to go with Lerma, Kilkenny and Billing. I think Kilkenny, he's had a rest and he earns the right to come back into the team. And then I think we go Solanke, Jaden Anthony and Lowe, Jamal Lowe. I'm not sure, I guess... Lowe would play on the right, maybe, or they'd switch. For me, Anthony has to stay in the team, so maybe it's between him or Christie. So, but I'm going to go with Lowe. So that's my predicted 11.
What's your score prediction?
Score prediction. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Bournemouth. I think it's going to be a Dom Solanke goal, like I always predict, and I think that it's going to come in the 57th minute from a header.
Thanks to Dan then for his 5-minute match preview, and let us know if you agree or disagree with anything that Dan has said and his squad predicted lineup. Also, he went for a Dom Solanke goal in the 57th minute, very precise. Barnsley then, 6 points from their first 5 games, 1 win, 3 draws and 1 loss, but they have picked up some very good draws against QPR, Birmingham and Cardiff. Dominic Freezer, he is the top scorer at the moment with 2 goals, but they have got some talented attacking players in Callum Stiles and Corley Woodrow. They've currently scored 5 goals and conceded 5. Now, I caught up with Carlo, a friend of the channel. He was on Cherries Red Army last season. He's from the Reds Report, and we discussed Barnsley start to the season and what are they expecting for the rest. Welcome, Carlo, back to the Cherries Red Army YouTube channel for this season. Carlo, for the viewers who may have not seen you before, tell us a bit about yourself, how you're doing and what you do for Barnsley.
So my name is Carlo van der Watering. For about 7 years now, I've been presenting the Reds Report. Pre-COVID, that was a live radio show. During COVID, that became me on my MacBook, ringing friends and family to talk about Barnsley. It goes out once a week. We started doing some YouTube stuff as well. Club are really good with us. So last season we had a feature where we spoke to the team behind the team. Barnsley sort of storming last season, weren't they? So we talked to the people that were behind the team. So not necessarily on the pitch, but more around it, guiding the players. And yeah, we are slowly getting back to normal. We're hoping to be back in the studio from the end of October. So then we're going to revert back to what we do best, which is live radio, bit of music, and lots and lots of talk about Barnsley FC.
And if you want to check out the Reds report, the socials and the details will be in the description. And do check out what Carlo and the Reds report do. Let's get on with the match preview then, Carlo. A whirlwind season for Barnsley last season. Got into the playoffs. Didn't quite have enough to obviously make the Premier League. Have had a bit of a transformation in pre-season. Manager's gone. I think your club captain, Alex Moat, has gone as well. What were you expecting at the start of the season? How's the first 5 games gone?
It was always difficult to live up to the hype or what we achieved last season, and I'm firmly to believe that was one of them seasons where the stars were just aligned. I think we had the right squad, definitely had the right head coach, and he got the best out of the players. I think in parts it probably helped that the fans weren't there because we've still got one of the youngest squads in the EFL. And so this season, we had a Q&A with the co-chairman literally a couple of weeks ago, and he says, there's really no sort of minimum expectations. We need to stay in this league. We know this for financial reasons. To ask Marcus Shop to go better than last season is setting anybody up to fail. So it's about developing the players that we've got. But I got from it that, the minimum expectation, and for the fans probably as well, it's just like a mid-table finish, and that'd be really good. I think Barnsley needs to establish themselves as a good or a decent championship team rather than what we have been doing, which is a couple of seasons in the championship, and then we go down to League One, and then we come back again for a season, and we go down. So that yo-yoing needs to sort of stop now. We need to establish ourselves in the championship and build from them on. And I think the board very much is looking for the same, but obviously with the new head coach in place and a new CEO and some new players. But anyway, sort of 14, 12 be absolutely fine and be a good season for Barnsley, to be fair.
Would you say quickly, Carlo, that you've gained maybe some neutral fans that are not specifically Barnsley fans, but I know that there were some Bournemouth fans that said, look, if we're not going to go up, we'd actually like to see Barnsley go up with the way they just attacked the Championship last season. Did you see that throughout the Championship, that fellow clubs were like going, well done, Barnsley, you've done a cracking job?
Yeah, I think there were listen, anybody that supports, let's say, one of the Sheffield clubs that were in this division, or if you're a fanatic fan of your club, you will always support your club, or people that generally just like football. Yeah, we had loads of people asking us for comments because I suppose, we're not a big money club. The players we buy, often people haven't heard of. We use the recruitment process where we look for players, young players that fit our style of football. So we're never going to change our way of playing. And I think because we're still operating on budget, and I think there's only a couple of clubs in this division that do, I think people have sort of admired that. We've probably done it the hard way, but, we upset a few of the bigger clubs last season. And yeah, that brought with it some admirers for just thinking, for a relatively small championship club, they did okay. And when you are the underdog, suddenly everybody's behind you. Except when you support a Sheffield club or Leeds, of course, because they'll never support us. But any other clubs, yeah. And I got loads of good wishes and well wishes last season, even when the playoffs were over, from fans from every other club in the Championship. And I think that was a really nice touch as well, definitely.
6 points on the board then after 5 games, 1 win, 3 draws and 1 loss. What have you taken away from the early start from Marcus Shop?
He tends to play out from the back a bit more, which is not a problem. It's been a bit of a full start for Barnsley. So we brought in a couple of strikers. We brought in Iseka and Ulare, who both played in Belgium. We've had to wait, I think it's 8 weeks for a visa. And when we asked the chairman about it, he called the Home Office amateur hour. And his words were, Cristiano Ronaldo signed for Manchester United. He'll have his visa. He'll play quicker than these 2 Belgian lads will for Barnsley because we are Barnsley. So Carlton Morris got injured early on in the season. That's a miss. Devante Cole was brought in. Not really seen much of him as yet. The one player that we have seen plenty of and we're very impressed with is Josh Benson. He played for Burnley, took a wage cut to come and play for Barnsley, but he wanted to play regular. I think he got 7 games last season for Burnley. Natural replacement for Alex Moat, and that's probably the biggest compliment I can pay him. He doesn't look like a young lad. He's got a good pass in him. Likes to ruffle a few feathers in midfield, and we know Alex Moat was very good at that as well. So I think when the visas are through and all the players are fit, I think you see probably slightly, maybe a little bit more ruthless Barnsley than what we have seen. But, you know, it's one loss. And I suppose a couple of seasons ago, we would have lost a lot of these matches, whereas now we can come back from a 1-0 down and get a draw. But it'll be interesting to see when all the players are fit, especially the strikers, how Barnsley will fare in this league, definitely.
Let's just have a look at some of the players then that are potentially going to play on Saturday and help Barnsley try and get a result for you. Now, I want to start from the back, Carlo. Let's go to Bradley Collins, the goalkeeper. Now, you beat us at the Vitality Stadium last season, but what I noticed was he was a very excitable goalkeeper. And I thought, was this just a one-off? And I started to watch Barnsley a little bit more, and he was excitable most weeks. Now, has he calmed down a bit, Carlo, or does he still like coming off that line?
Listen, I have to make sure I'm politically correct, but he's like somebody with ADHD without the tablets, isn't he? He is. He does come. He likes to play. You know, when you play five-a-side with your mates, somebody has to go in goal, but they don't want to go in goal, so they come out anyway. It's a bit like that. But some of the reaction saves he's pulled off. It was, if you remember, early on last season, it was Jack Walton, Brad Collins, and it was in between that. And then Brad Collins went in goal for the Chelsea Cup match and never really lost his place. Very good keeper. My only worry, because he's so excitable, when we play it out from the back, I can't help but think that he's got a little mistake in him. But so far, Brad, he's been all right. But I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, he does get excited, doesn't he? Like, I'll go, and he literally roamed them out of his area, out of the stadium just so we could go back. I think he just likes to have a touch of the ball every now and then. And if that means he has to sprint halfway to kick it, he will, yeah.
I'm at the game Saturday, so I'm definitely excited to see how excitable he might be in this game again. Let's go up top then, because you've lost 17 goals from this team from last season. I think Daryl DK and Alex Moat. I mean, where are your goals going to come from this season? We know you've got Corley Woodrow. Callum Stiles was a player that I think broke into the team, and then Freeze is your top goal scorer at the moment. So who's going to get you goals?
Listen, you look at the new captain, Corley Woodrow. I think the problem is with Woodrow playing centrally, he often comes a lot deeper and then needs to be able to pass. Freeze scored a couple of goals. My reckoning is that we'll see, maybe not for the full 90 minutes, but we'll see some of the new signings starting. We know they got the visas. We know during the international period they have been training with the squad. Carlton Morris is a miss because when you've got Woodrow, Freezer and Morris playing, you've got three very good strikers, but all completely different. Freezer is very much running and shooting. I think Corley Woodrow is quite technically very, very gifted. The problem is he comes deep a lot of the times, and he tends to have the touches inside of the penalty area. Morris is a little bit of a unit, hard to get off the ball, and will play the other strikers in. So Morris has definitely been a miss. My reckoning is you'll probably see Olara or Iseka starting. And we brought him in for the goal, so the better come from them. Although Callum Stiles has moved into central midfield, which was his natural position anyway. He scored a fantastic goal against Birmingham, and if he gets the space, sort of like just outside the area, you can expect him to have a pop, definitely.
Okay, so what's your concerns with Bournemouth then, Carlo? We were busy in transfer deadline day. We brought in Ryan Christie from Celtic. Jamal Lowe has also come in from Swansea. What are you worried about from a Barnsley point of view with Bournemouth attacking you?
I think whichever team we play, whilst Barnsley, we didn't mention Mikael Helik. He's now a full Polish international, playing really well. He was in the FIFA Team of the Week during the qualifiers. And our defence is pretty solid. I think because we play that high line, it's the space behind. They're not the fastest. And although they're young, and I'm sure that will come, anybody with a bit of pace up front, if you look at a Jamal Lowe, we know all about Jamal Lowe. He was a Portsmouth, wasn't he, many, many moons ago?
Yeah.
And I remember him giving us an absolute torrid time. And it's those sort of players that will undoubtedly cause us problems. I'm not saying we can't handle that. Probably can, but we need to protect the back three by making sure that when Lowe's got the ball, that press is there, and we don't give him any space to go on forward, because that's where the damage can be done against Barnsley.
So the last 2 times I think that you visited the Vitality, you have won. Maybe not last 2 times, but the last 2 times you got a victory, it was scoring 3 goals. You did win the fixture last year. You have got 3 draws this season against Birmingham, Cardiff and QPR. What's your score prediction for this match day 6 versus AFC Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium?
2-2. 2-2. I think there will be goals. There will be goals from either side. You could see that Barnsley was a little bit hindered by not having Carlton Morris. Devante Cole played there a couple of times. Clark O'Dowd, who played at the left-hand side and got us that goal against Brentford a couple of seasons ago, has been playing up front. And whilst he is technically very, very gifted, any sort of defender that's above 6 foot will just easily muscle him off the ball. And I don't think that's just because he's been put there to sort of plug a gap, if you know what I mean. So I think there will be goals. Under Marcus Schopp, under Daniel Stendel, under Gerhard Struber, Barnsley have got that never die attitude, and I think that mostly is the difference between us maybe 3 or 4 seasons ago and now. So yeah, I'm going with a score draw, but I'm going 2-2.
Carlo, it's great to see you again. I hope you enjoy the rest of your season. I'm sure we'll catch up in the returning fixture as well. Enjoy the game if you get a chance to see it. And yeah, just a final summary for you, Carlo.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few fans travelling down. I think for Barnsley, hopefully with players fit, visas received, we can now start playing the squad that we wanted to play at the beginning of the season. I think the important thing for Barnsley is we've only lost to 1, and but we don't want to be known as the draw specialist, because that don't get you in mid-table, does it? But very much looking forward to it. Always had a soft spot for Bournemouth anyway, ever since the playoffs last season. And yeah, if you're going, enjoy it. All Barnsley fans, safe travels, and bring back at least a point. But I'll be in Morocco at a bar. So if we do lose or lose heavily, I'm all inclusive. So by the next day, I'll have forgotten about it, mate.
Barnsley fans, have a safe travel. Carlo, have a safe travel to Morocco. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you soon.
Speak to you soon, mate. Cheers.
Thank you to Carlo from the Reds Report for his contribution on this match preview. And what did you think of his thoughts on this fixture? So hopefully Scott Parker will have a pool of players to pick from for this fixture. Players might miss out, but the new players that have come in, you have to say, it looks like it'll be an exciting time for AFC Bournemouth again. And the next 3 months could be key in picking up points to keeping us high in that table. The head-to-head between the teams are in favour of the Cherries, with 3 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss. But if you think this is a guaranteed 3 points for the Cherries, just be aware that Barnsley did win this fixture last season at the Vitality Stadium, and the last 2 times they've won at Bournemouth, they've scored 3 goals each time. But my score prediction is I'm going for a Cherries win. I'm going for Bournemouth to score 3 goals, and the famous 3-1 for maybe the first time this season. AFC Bournemouth 3, Barnsley 1. Let us know what your score prediction is. Let us know what your lineup will be, and any other comments you have in this match preview. Subscribe, help us get to 1,000. Also give this video a like, and until the next video, we'll see you soon. Up the Cherries.